Hey, wake your ass up. Let's go. It's race time.
And welcome everybody to Baku. Welcome to Baku for the Formula One World Championship round number 8. This beautiful city, known for many things, it's famous for being the birthplace of Casper the Ghost. Isn't that Caspian Sea? Casper the Ghost. It says Casper the Ghost must have been born here. That was a picture of him, by the way, on the screen. Baku is also famous for being a city which is meaning city where the wind blows, mainly from behind, apparently. And it consumes more beans than Texas. That's a fact. That is a Formula One Fabio and Funked fact. All the F's right there. As you say, a beautiful modern city full of modern people with modern ideas that have many things in common with people of the West. See that LGBTQIA building in the background there? And that's what they stand for. Beautiful. We were here for the Formula One World Championship. And welcome to my 3F's Fabio, my co-host. Welcome, Fabio.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm gutted. I'm fucking gutted. You know, that's what I'm saying. I've been in my head for the last 2 days. All I've had is Godfather in my head, going, you were part of the fucking family, eh? We treated you like other family, and this is what you do to us, huh?
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I had a fantastic Sunday. The superbike races in Misano were astounding. Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ducati got a nice win. You know, Locatelli got a little bit unlucky on Saturday. Was disqualified the last corner, and so those are very good races. On the other hand, the 24-hour Le Mans. Bruni in the GT Pro won the race. Second and third, two Ferraris with Fuoco on third, and I can't remember the name of the other guy, but there was another Italian got second. Kubica in the LMP2 got second. Good Robert Kubica. Yeah. So I mean,
we remember Robert Kubica.
Yeah. So it was a good Sunday, and I have no idea what you're talking about. That's all it was.
Well, on my TV, we had a race from a little unknown place called Azerbaijan, Baku. And
never heard of it.
In Baku,
it was making up things.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
Fortunately, I only watched the first 8 laps.
Okay, yeah.
And it was brilliant. The race was brilliant. Leclerc winning all the way. Winning. I didn't see the rest of the race, unfortunately, because I had to cut off my arm.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to do the race. I'm going to do a race review, as unbiased as I can be. You know
the race that doesn't exist.
The race that is going to be forever not spoken about as soon as we finish this podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, moving onwards.
Go ahead.
3 lights, 5 lights, 5 lights, 4 lights. Leclerc in pole position. Fantastic pole position by Leclerc. An amazing second place by the pool cleaner. Sergio Perez is the pool cleaner, for those that don't know. And then third place would have, of course, have been Max Verstappen. And fourth place, Carlos Sainz in another car, which is very familiarly red, but I don't really know. Okay, moving on. I think they painted it the wrong colour. It's bound to have been another team. Anyway, moving on. Off the racing line. A bit of wheel spin for Leclerc, allowing Perez to pull alongside him. Perez going into the lead. Leclerc holding on to second. Challenged strongly by Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen trying to overtake into turn 3. Leclerc shutting the door. Sainz filling up behind. And then coming a George Russell. A fantastic drive by the George Russell. That will be spoken about later. Still, there you go. Perez managing to pull away. And then Leclerc bringing up second place, managing to keep Verstappen behind. Hamilton versus Vettel would be a thing later on. However, on lap 9, Carlos Sainz had hydraulic problems, or whatever they happened to end up being, and was sadly out of the race. Yeah, I don't know what to say, really. I was gutted at the time. I still feel gutted now. The hurt has not gone away. Nonetheless, hydraulic problems, reliability problems. We thought they were Red Bulls. They turn out to be Ferraris. It's the swings and the roundabouts of the Formula One merry-go-round. Then pit, because of that yellow flag comes out, so into the pits comes Leclerc for the superb strategy this week. Ferrari banging the strategy out, having an extra pair of medium tyres and going to go for at least a 2-stop strategy with the best tyres at the end of the race. A fantastic call, one which I'm definitely very happy about. Then also followed in by the 2 Mercedes, Sebastian Vettel and a few other teams, Gasly, etc. These all going on to all these going on to hard tyres, by the way, which of course in this turns were the C3 tyre. Nonetheless, this put Hamilton at a slight disadvantage. He dropped back a little way, and Russell managed to gain some good advantage out of it. Then Ocon and Vettel having a bit of a set to, with Vettel pulling off an outside overtake down into turn 9, and unfortunately running out of road when his tyres locked at the crucial moment. Then again, onto lap 15, Max Verstappen being allowed through on Perez, and so went the race. I mean, that was basically going to be it. Leclerc behind. Both at this stage, though, both Red Bulls still needed to pit, and with Leclerc catching from behind, it looked like Leclerc had a great shot. Lewis Hamilton fighting past the Alpines. Really complaining about porpoising and the state of his back. And when I say back, I don't mean the windy back, because in Baku, I mean his actual back. Then the Red Bulls came into the pits race on lap 19, or at least Verstappen did, showing once again that there are no team orders. There are team orders there. Verstappen called into the pits first, and away he went. Some number of laps behind. This left Leclerc out front for what could have been a relatively simple win. However, on lap 20, the engine let go. The engine, the Ferrari engine, which has been reliable now for a number of years, let go. Let that sink in. The engine, which was Ferrari, let go. You do this to me, huh? You do this after all that I've done for you and your family. You do this to me. Okay, so anyway, I was disappointed. That was my best Godfather impression, by the way, just for those that don't get it. Anyway, moving on. Well, not really much happened really after that. Perez got the advantage in the pit stops because he came out, he overcut Verstappen, but Verstappen was allowed to overtake and repass. No fighting was the order given to Perez. So, of course, he did not fight, and Max Verstappen went straight through. Then that was it, really. There's nothing else to report on. The race was very boring after that because, as I said, I basically just switched the TV off. Well, I didn't switch the TV. Well, I did switch the TV. Technically, throwing the TV at the wall is switching it off. So that's basically what I did there. I threw the TV at the wall and it switched off. So, yes, I switched the TV off. Didn't see much of the race. I've seen some highlights, and yeah, it was very good. Vettel finally managed to pass Ocon around the outside, Buffalo Girls, and that was fairly straightforward. And other than that, a good race by Russell, who was very consistent, put in the lap times, didn't complain about the porpoising. And also a great race by Gasly as well, who hung in there and pulled up into, I think, 4th place. Hamilton then getting 5th place. A good comeback drive considering he was disadvantaged by the first strategy. A few more problems to do with DRS for Takumi Sato, and it's not Takumi, it's Tsunoda.
Tsunoda.
It's Tsunoda. I don't know, because I'm back in a different era when Ferrari
Yeah.
when Ferrari were reliable. That's the problem. Anyway, Tsunoda had a problem with his DRS that got ripped apart, and also in the last few laps, Max Verstappen was told not to use his DRS. I guess they really are copycat cars, aren't they? Anyway, there you go. That's basically it. If we could just have the race results, that would be good, and we'll move on. Okay, so race results, of course. Max Verstappen, 1st place. A fantastic race considering he was handed it with the Ferraris outpacing. 2nd place was the Pool, and 3rd place was Russell. 1st place was Max Verstappen. Let me just go over that again because it doesn't hurt enough already.
Yeah.
2nd place was Sergio Perez. 3rd place was Russell. 3rd place was Russell. 4th place, Lewis Hamilton. Didn't know that. That is a great result for the 3rd best team, considering the 1st best team was out. 5th place was, of course, I don't know, Gasly. Yes, good race by Gasly. Well done to Gasly. And Sebastian Vettel, also a very good race for himself. Just goes to show you, experience is what counts in these cars. 6th place, 7th place even, would of course have been Alonso, who drove a good race considering Ocon was in the wars. Daniel Ricciardo, there was a mix-up. Well, there wasn't a mix-up. They were heavily ordered. Daniel Ricciardo getting 8th place. 9th place, of course, would have been Norris, and who was told not to overtake on the last lap, although whether he could or couldn't done, we do not know. Esteban Ocon in 10th place for the last point. Again, drove a good race holding people off. 11th place, Valtteri Bottas. A little disappointed by that result, but Albon in 12th place, a great result for Williams. 13th place, Yuki Tsunoda. Got his name right, Yuki Tsunoda, who had his DRS fail, and then Mick Schumacher, 14th place. Good result for Mick considering. 5th, although disappointing for the team. 15th place was, of course, Latifi. 18th place DNF for Lance Stroll. 17th place, if I can make it to the end quickly, would have been Kevin Magnussen, who had engine problems. Zhang Zhou, also engine problems, although allegedly not. Allegedly that wasn't engine, that was something else, but it was still nothing to do with the Ferrari engine. 19th place was, I don't know who that is. He is no longer. I am no longer able to recognise that person or that person anymore. They are both in wrong colour suits. I don't understand what colour that is. I'd have no idea. It's nothing to do with me. I've never seen them before. And onwards, moving onwards. That is the race results for the Grand Prix 2022 Azerbaijan. Baku. Thank you, Fabio. Over to you. I'm glad you didn't see the race because it was a fucking nightmare to commentate over. I can tell you that right now.
No, it was. Yeah, I mean, I understand. I think the number of broken television has gone up a lot. You know, I've no fucking idea. I agree with you. I was happy about the good tactic that Ferrari put on. You know, when they stopped the right moment, I was like, okay, nice, okay, this is good, this is really good. And then they just, both the cars got out, signs for hydraulic problems. Hydraulic problems to me, I don't know if you have the same feeling, but it sounds like what we used to call electronics problem. You know, you don't really have no fucking idea what it is. It's just no, it's the electronic. You know, yeah. Now it's hydraulic.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck happened. He
Yeah, yeah.
complained about probably the brakes, and he wasn't able to restart. I think that the whole dashboard turned off. So I don't know. Maybe it's powered by hydraulics. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, while for Leclerc it was most certainly the turbo, which might be problematic because it's they already changed. It's already the third unit, so if they have to change it, it's going to be 5 positions in Canada penalty. So yeah, there is that. No, it's a bummer, and a lot of Ferrari engines had issues this race, which okay. So people which know the things, they say that it's if you have to pick between having problems with reliability and performances, you should pick reliability because you can fix reliability problems, but it's really hard to get performances. So that, I guess, is the only silver lining of the whole thing. On the other end, last 3 races, there were something like 75 points for Leclerc, easily, and he only got 12. I mean, I'm counting Barcelona, the shitstorm in Monaco, and then Baku. It was ahead all 3 races, 2 broken engines or broke whatever, 1 kerfuffle. So 12 points out of 75, which is not really good. I mean, it is true that the championship is long, but eventually it will get short. You know what I mean? So yeah, there is that.
There is that. Hopefully this won't go on, although I believe Mario Benevetti has said, can't remember his name, has said that he's not going to be able to change anything soon because of the rules. So there's not a lot they can change about this. However, my feeling is that it's down to overheating, because the difference between Saturday and Sunday temperatures was 15 to 20 degrees circuit temperature, which is a huge amount. It suddenly got hot on Sunday, and of course the cars being in Parc Fermé, don't think you're allowed to change them. So presumably those that didn't reckon on a hot day had extra cooling or didn't put enough cooling in. So I'm hoping that it's something to do with that just Ferrari were marginal on the cooling, and that just led to a few more problems than the other teams.
I mean, I honestly don't know. Again, I really have no idea. I'm not super sold on the idea because both Barcelona and Baku, they look like to be turbo problems.
Turbo.
So the turbine, I mean, usually works at very high temperatures anyway. So I don't know how much of a lack of cooling might have affected that.
I agree.
So it might be the case. It's just I don't know. It's the particular which broke down, which makes me think that probably there is something. There is an issue in that part of the powertrain of the engine, component. And I mean, I just hope that they will find a solution. The solution. Nobody. I mean, the thing is that the reliability has become an issue for Ferrari, and it was an issue even a couple of races ago. But now it's becoming problematic. We saw at the beginning of the season, we thought that Red Bull was going to have problems. Actually, if we look at the parts that change, I think that Verstappen is still on his first unit. and they're going to change in Canada. So that engine was able to do 7 Grand Prix, which is way more than what the Ferrari engine was able to do. So I mean, I don't know. The only thing I can say is that Ferrari went through a complete redesign of the engine this year. It is almost completely new. It's they call
Yeah.
it super fast. It has different combustion chambers. All the accessories are put in a different position, which is something that Red Bull has done only partially. I mean that they had to move some ancillaries, some parts, but basically the engine is still the one that came last year. So they honestly have way less problem. And you can see the same thing for Mercedes, for example. I mean, Mercedes has all sort of problems, but in the engine compartment, because they found the reliability in the previous years, while Ferrari does not have that luxury. It is true he has got the most modern power unit, but they will have to work their the kinks and the problems of reliability, and unfortunately they're showing up, and it's a problem. It's a problem because and then I quit. They have a very fast driver, at least one, which is Charles. We can talk about Carlos, in a minute if you want to. I'd rather not, because that guy is really disappointing. But Charles is showing to be, at least this beginning of the season, that is really fast. He's really committed. I just hope that he won't get bogged down by all these problems. But he has already shown, at least in the qualifying, to be in the Super League of the champions of the champions. I think I texted you during on Saturday or on Sunday. He really reminds me of Ayrton Senna. The way that he can extract the single lap in qualifying, it's beyond. It just can do things with that car that nobody can, including his teammate. So it's a bummer, but yeah, there is that. You're muted, by the way, so that's why I was able to. Yes. Nope. No, I can't hear you at all. Nope.
Want to?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so yeah, now I wanted to just say one thing. I remember the same thing happened to Mark Webber. He was sensational qualifying one year. And Vettel stood no chance against him in qualifying. He could just extract everything out of one lap. The next year, he was nowhere. So hopefully he is like Senna, because Senna could do it year in, year out.
Yeah.
Like Hamilton has been able to for a number of years now as well. So just to say that. I do hope that's the case, although, of course, Baku being famously where he threw it away at Baku in qualifying one year. Okay, just a couple of questions here. So the first question was top speed. Yeah, I think top speed is about 350, just under 350. So, yeah, that's kilometers an hour. That's about 215 or so to maybe 217, around there, miles per hour, 215 miles per hour, roughly. So there you go. And the first Grand Prix was only a few years ago, 5 years ago?
Yeah, it was long ago. Yeah.
5 years ago. So 2017, that would make it. So those are the Baku data sets, really. Yeah. It is a very long straight, so they do get to massive speeds, especially with toes. I actually think this year Max did 252 down the straight in a toe with his wing open. So that's just horrendous. So that's nearly 220 miles an hour, 220. Still not up there with the IndyCar speeds, but getting very close. And considering we go both directions, left and right, that's not bad. Anyway, there you go. And we race in the wet. So there you go. I'm just IndyCar.
Yeah.
And let's not go down that too much. So thank you for your questions, Joe. Good to see you. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's going to be a problem. And Binotto said it was going to be a problem this year. Without the tokens to change the engines the way they were able to, it could be a problem. However, I guess for reliability sakes, they will be allowed to make some upgrades to the engine under the current rule situation.
Yeah, they can do that. That's the only thing. And I think that I might be wrong, but I think that reliability issues are outside the budget cap. This might be something like that. Regardless, if you have to change a part, that would fall into the number of parts which are allowed. So
Yeah.
if a turbo breaks down, you got 3 of them, like they did, you got to put a new one. That is going to be a penalty on the grid.
Oh,
anyway.
for sure. 100% they're looking at penalties now.
Yeah.
100%. But I think all the teams will take penalties before the end of the year anyway. So whether Ferrari can get it together to just make the changes they need and then everything runs perfectly after that, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just going to cross my fingers and stick one of them up my arse because that's about as much chance as I've got as having a good year. Okay, moving onwards then. I would also say
Great.
that,
I mean, I love Vettel. I love Vettel race. You mentioned that.
did.
I think he did the best. So that what he did was the best thing I saw in the race when he tried to overtake Ocon and it was too long and he just spun his car like in a napkin, literally.
Yeah.
That was Fast and Furious, 20. That was brilliant of him.
I mean, he almost wiped the back end off his car.
Oh,
but-
yeah.
yeah, just enough room, you know what I mean? Like, perfectly judged, of course, you know what I mean?
Super
No,
brilliant.
he just knew that if he didn't do it, he was going to be out of the race for good, so do it.
And
Again, shows the pro that he is.
Yeah, and the other problems is the Mercedes. Even if they got third and fourth, which is a good position, those cars are really an issue. I mean, Russell said that he cannot see himself racing 3 to 4 years in a car like that because it would be dead, because of and also I have never seen Lewis Hamilton at the end of the race the way that he was in Baku. I mean, and I remember people like I remember Mansell getting out of the car and pushing the car and passing out, that kind of stuff. Lewis was fucking unbelievable. He complained about his back killing him during the race, and I mean, not being able. I don't know how much of a show he put. I don't think too much. Maybe a little bit when it was, bunkering down. But still, the pain was visible. And
and in his voice, you could tell as well. I did like Christian Horner's comments, though, which is that people are just whinging and there's an easy solution. Just raise the car. So I'm like, yeah. So he's basically trying to mitigate them changing the rules and allowing either active suspension in or some other suspension upgrade.
This is a very interesting point, and I'm glad you raised it because the thing is that the last news that are coming from the circus is that the FIA actually has made some proposal to solve the porpoising problem. The thing is that the teams are not agreeing with that. You need all the teams, or at least 8 out of 10 teams. And
they changed the rules,
And apparently the FIA has proposed something. I think that what they propose is either mass dampener or I can't remember, like the inertial thingy that they put on the
hydraulic thing, that they banned off the Mercedes,
Yeah, but it was on all the cars. It wasn't Red Bull. I mean, everybody was using that. So I think that's what they proposed. Funnily enough, it's the teams which they have said, no. They have vetoed that solution. So it's a really weird situation.
I'd like to know what teams exactly. It can't be all the teams.
Well,
and again, Red Bull have got a lot of influence, obviously, over.
No, but it's not a problem with influence. It's a problem with numbers. It's a problem with
that's what I'm
saying. So if 8 out of 10 say yes, they pass. So apparently there is at least 8 teams that said no, and so because of the fact that there is only two outside. So it's got to be either Red Bull, Mercedes, or Ferrari that said no, because it can't be,
It has to be at least two of them have got to be Red Bull,
right.
and AlphaTauri.
Yeah.
So we know those two are going to say no.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a very funny and tricky situation. I think that I mean I think that some teams think they've got an advantage with that, the porpoising problem that they're experiencing, and
For sure,
they don't want to give it away by implementing a solution which will solve everybody's problem. So
Yeah.
there is that. There is also the fact that what we saw, for example, in Monaco is different from what we saw in Baku. So in Monaco, what we saw was mostly bottoming, while in Baku, we still got see, porpoising.
Proper porpoising, yeah.
Yeah, and that two different things, But yeah, I mean, on paper, Christian Horner is right. Yeah, race the car, you solve the problem. He is right.
Yeah.
The thing is that he knows full well that by racing the car, you just lower the performances of the other one. So yeah.
Well, also he also realizes that he doesn't have to do that.
Right.
That's the point, right? So it basically just hands Red Bull the title again this year. Right? So there'll be no more. I mean, I can't, if they do that and they don't make this solution. This is my personal prediction time. Simon gets predictions wrong again time. I think they will make this change, regardless of what the teams are saying. There has to be a change in this, because if they don't do this and people just go, okay, well, we're putting our drivers at risk here, then that potentially leaves them open to some countersuing for bringing in rules which are dangerous. And then if they don't do that, right, and they insist that teams therefore have to raise their cars, they just know, therefore, that there millions and millions of people are going to switch their TVs off, knowing that the championship is already done, because every race we're going to get Red Bull winning by 30 seconds. And
I know
as long as there are team rules there, hang on a minute, as long as there are team rules at Red Bull stopping Perez fighting, there's going to be no entertainment, and people will switch off in their droves if that's allowed to happen.
Well, but it's really tricky because, on paper, FIA might do something for safety, and you're right. The thing is that you don't really need to do something for safety because, again, Horner is right. If you can eliminate the problem by raising the car will go slower. But if your problem is safety, you already have a solution.
Agreed.
So FIA can't really use that card. And any other card is right now, it's almost impossible to use because they got to find an agreement. I think that the only way, if the FIA wants to push that angle, is to basically blackmail some of the teams, like Red Bull or people like that, saying, oh, you know what, yeah, we just decided that you're gonna get 50% less money than we thought because reason, or we're not going to increase the budget. Oh, I mean, but they will have to resort to proper blackmail in order for them to accept something, because they have no other way.
Yeah.
Safety is out. Yeah.
I think there is another way, and I think there's a way they can do it under safety as well. And that is to say that the teams will not do it. The teams themselves won't do it, and that's witnessed by the vote result. But for driver safety, which overrides the team's interests, then they will come up with some legislative kind of directive. And as I said, they could easily come up with a directive that we're just going to not fix the problem, and the teams will have to raise that ride heights if they see porpoising. Then we're going to make it mandatory to raise the ride heights.
Yes,
that's the safety solution, for instance. However, with that, then they will get people switching off in droves, because it will become like Mercedes were in 2017 and 16, where there was no other cars capable of winning. And in which case, they will insist that Red Bull allow their drivers to race. Okay, so those are the two solutions. That is, as far as I can see, this is the only solution. If Red Bull want to keep it the way they want to keep it, they have to let Perez off the leash, and they have to stop giving him these no fighting
Oh
messages,
boy,
etc.
that was bullshit. Yeah, no, but I think that
Hang on a minute, let me just have another drink. Oh, I'll drink to bullshit.
I think that actually, the FIA pushing a minimum ride height might be a really good solution for everybody, and the reason being that it would solve the problem of the problems that the drivers have now. Yeah, sure, it will make all the cars a little bit slower. It is true, but I don't think that is going to impact the show too much. I mean,
No, I agree.
honestly, you cannot figure out if a car is doing 350 or 325. There is no difference, right? So yeah, I mean, I think that would be a good card to play. Say, okay, you guys cannot find any solution. We just amend the rules. But again, I don't know if that kind of amending the rules has to fall into the 75% or unanimity of. I don't know. It's gonna be, yeah. It might be tricky, but
Yeah.
the only good thing I think that there is right now is that the guys which are running the F1, and I'm thinking about Domenicali, is not an idiot. I mean, that guy knows cars.
Yeah.
Ross Brown is there. It's not like a bunch of idiots that they can take around with a leash, and tell him that I know that there is smoke when there isn't. So they might be able to find a good technical solution which will make everybody unhappy. So by definition, would be the right one. And yeah,
Maybe.
Yeah.
Again, I feel that I think that Red Bull will have a legal challenge if they try and put a minimum ride height on. I feel that is the solution that they're going to go for at the end. However, I do think that Red Bull will have a legal challenge because their car does not porpoise at that minimum, even below that minimum ride height that would be dictated. So technically speaking, they can't do it for safety reasons. That's the issue as far as I can see. If they want to do it for safety reasons, right, they can't make it a minimum. They're going to have to go the suspension route. And I think they can go the suspension route, which is the solution they've already decided on, by the way. They can go down that route on the basis that the teams will not race their cars. So they would rather put their drivers at risk, right? This is the FIA logic here, or what FOM. They would rather put their drivers at risk mentally or physically, right, and make them go through this porpoising, right, because it gives them an advantage on track. And there's nothing in the rules that say they can't do that. There's nothing to say the drivers have to race. Drivers can just go, I'm not going to race that car, and they can get another driver in, and there are more than enough drivers to fill the spaces. So potentially we could get people walking away from the sport. And on that basis, I think the FIA would then step in and say, okay, look, for driver safety, we'll do this because we can't trust the teams to do it. So it's no longer about the teams agreeing to the change anymore. This is a dictate which comes for safety reasons, and therefore even has an even lower thing. And I think there is a lower percentage of teams that must agree when it's for safety. So yeah, that would be my thing.
I think a lot of it is just on the fact if we want to have a big accident this year because of that. Because so if God forbid we have some kind of catastrophic failure or something really bad happening, if that happens, I can guarantee you that they will enforce the minimum ride height, and the reason being that it would have to be something done immediately from the next race, and you cannot enforce a new component because because that is going to be a cascade of of shit. It's going to be a shitstorm because new component means a new budget cap. and then you got to redesign the car. It's really complicated. It's not something you can do on the spot.
Yeah,
The
agreed.
thing that you can do on the spot is say, okay, you know what, this is the right height. Fuck you. Everybody's got to be a minimum that one. And that might happen if something bad happens. If something bad does not happen, there might be. Then I can see the way that you just described of putting back the dampeners or the other Wizamagig, which I mean, the name just explodes in my head. Just can't remember.
Active suspension.
Yeah, well, it's not exactly like the suspension. It's like an evolution of the mass dampener. It's like
The hydraulic suspension, I think, was the one that Mercedes introduced on the rear of their car to get it to squat down at high speed or low speed and rise at high speed.
So the device which has been banned, I think last year, it's something really simpler. It's usually attached to the third element of the suspension, and so. I think it started in 2000 something with the Renault, where they put like a big block on the front of the car with with coils, and that acted as it was a mass dampener, So
Right.
Now they evolved that, and now it's something with a screw, and it's attached to the third element suspension, and there is a big wheel inside. So basically, it acts the same when the suspension closes. This thing it's an inertia dampener anyway. But it's purely either you can have it either mechanic, or you can also make it hydraulic if you want to. You have to have like a piping system, with it's a little bit more complicated, but it can also be hydraulic, and it's really easy because there is nothing electronic in that. It's an inertia dampener, so it will dampen the vibrations. So basically, it's counteracting the suspension. That is easy on paper. Everybody had it, but it's been banned, and the cars this year they do not have that. So it's not just an aftermarket thing that you can throw at the car.
Yeah. Okay. A quick question here. Is there much track preparation for the circuits? For city circuits, I beg your pardon.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yes, of course there is. I guess it depends from circuit to circuit. I have first-hand experience for the one in Monaco. And Monaco, basically, what they do is that the circuit, they prepare the circuit, I think, 2 or 3 weeks before the race. And
they have a historic thing,
because
don't
they have the historic race. So and there is a huge amount of track preparation.
Yeah, I think it's a couple of weeks in Sydney, in Melbourne as well.
Yeah,
and of course that's a park track, so it's easier.
Yes.
Yeah. And likewise with the Baku, it's semi-permanent. They do use it for street, or at least the main straight is used for streets. But the rest of them are like the track layout was specifically designed in the city, and then the city has to use those streets rather than the circuit use city streets, which is the normal way. Although some sections are city streets.
Common things that they do in all of the city circuits is that they just they cover the manholes, they just put no tarmac over the manholes so that they don't get sucked and explode in your face when they go over that. And of course, they put curbs and all that shit. So yeah.
Okay.
They move flower pots.
Thank you for the question. Thank you for the question, Gio, and it's a pleasure to see you here. Thank you so much. Okay, so we sent Peter to somewhere out there. Now, I unfortunately I was booking the ticket, and I said to the lady, "Can I have a one ticket to Azerbaijan, please?" Yeah, and then she said, "What? I didn't hear you." So I said Azerbaijan, and I don't know where he ended up this week. I'm hoping that it's in roughly the right place, because I did say the city that farts from behind. But she didn't know what that was either. So, Peter, where did you end up? Did you get to the circuit all right?
I got to the circuit all right, and I'm
fantastic.
I didn't need a hotel because Ferrari have brought a new hospitality thing, which is where they store their engines now. It's probably going to be a fixed thing for every coming race, at least for now.
Okay, let's hope not. Let's hope not. Otherwise,
I mean-
otherwise, I don't think we're going to be doing many more of these.
No, that's going to take the fun away. I guess. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
It's worrying if you see that 4 cars don't finish all with Ferrari engines. It does
Very
make you
true.
worry. It's just not the one team. There are more teams suffering at the moment. But yeah,
So we got to put things a little bit in perspective, though, right? Because that was the first time that they had such a debacle for the engines. You know, the last races did really well, and also, if we really want to be nitpicking, the last time that two Ferrari did not finish was in 2009. So it's not that it happens, you know, constantly. The reason we are talking about right now is that it is happening. If it was something, you know, common, we would not be talking. It's like we don't talk about Williams getting lost because it's been, unfortunately, something which has been going on for years. So I just want to, you know, to be a little bit, here.
Hey, okay, so nothing to do with the horse's head in my bed then, no?
Not at all. Not
Okay.
at all.
yeah, okay. So, well, I did bring a few things for my bit. I have to apologize, by the way. As people will know, my dog goes everywhere I go, and she has had 2 massive epileptic attacks. One just before we started, so I'm still in the process of trying to calm her down a little, which is why the grid wasn't exactly how it was planned to be. So my apologies for that. Okay.
No problem at all.
Okay, so let's get to the first thing that I had brought for today. Yeah, Lewis. I would suggest he adopt a different way of walking because I don't think this is good for your back either. But
He's doing the limbo, isn't he?
yeah, probably.
He's just trying to limbo it underneath the cockpit thing.
Yeah, trying to get under Red Bull's wings. I mean, I don't know where he's limboing at the moment, but
There you go.
yeah. So
There you are.
that definitely was an issue. What I found pretty strange, by the way, is the American influence on Formula One. This has to be the most American influence on Formula One. The redneck repair of the AlphaTauri during the race. I mean, in the US,
That was brilliant.
in the US, you see lots of cars held together with duct tape. But yeah, as Battery Volta said, pinnacle of motorsport and engineering. Also F1, duct tape.
I loved it. I personally loved that. You know, I would love to see way more of that stuff. Yes. No, I'm serious. I mean, honestly, I saw a little bit of the 24-hour Le Mans. You know, those cars, when they get at the end, they're duct tape and, you know, and zip ties everywhere because they keep on running. So, yeah, I actually love that.
But now
GeoSam says America.
America, yes. But what do you guys know? Because I didn't find it anywhere. What was the issue with the wing, and was there actually a risk of it coming off? Because
The wing
Yeah.
wing ripped. I mean,
Yes.
literally the wing ripped in half, and it was held on by just the last strut, the strut at the back, basically, was holding it together. So it was ripped. Like basically one of the flaps. Well, the flap didn't open, and when it tried to open, it ripped one side of the wing,
Yeah.
and obviously the
When-
air got underneath it and
Yeah,
then ripped
when-
the rest of it.
When you see the writing Tauri there, you know, it's written Alpha Tauri. So just, you know, imagine that only the Tauri part was moving with the DRS and the other one was stuck because it was broken down. So the actuator was able only to move one part because the other one was broken. So
Which is a major
actually-
issue if it comes off during the race, because you can't send out a car that's not safe.
Well, that would black flag it.
Yeah.
Black
It-
flag
yeah.
it if that car broke.
It's an issue if it doesn't close. That's the issue.
Well, they fail broken, right? When
Yeah.
they fail down.
Yeah.
Basically, I should say, they failed down in the closed position. And this car, of course, because the wing was absolutely ripped, the carbon fiber was ripped, would have just kept flapping open. So they had to tape it down for sure. And luckily, the tape worked.
Red Bull too. At the end of the race, apparently had some issues with the DRS.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
that they
we
told
don't-
Verstappen.
Sorry, I think that was preventative. They didn't
Okay.
actually have an issue with it. They just thought, okay, look, we don't need to risk this. If it's happened on the AlphaTauri, which has got the same mechanism, then
Yeah.
let's not risk Verstappen with his luck and down the high-speed straights. You know,
Okay.
'cause they had problems in
Yes.
practice with
Yeah.
Verstappen's wings. I don't know if that's what you were going to say. Actually,
No, I
thought-
mean, I was just saying
remembered
that Red Bull has had issues with the DRS, not just this weekend, but even, past weekends. They had to redesign the parts and stuff like that. So,
I mean, they have the
That's
same
it,
issues
only-
in the last race.
no, this year. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
last year
too.
as well, though.
Yeah.
Last year as well. They were fixing it at the end of last year, remember?
Well, and
Okay.
so another thing that was pretty trending is Leclerc, and someone made a schematic regarding his races this year. This is about it. Leclerc against pretty much everything else. I thought it was really nice, but yeah. Then Max Verstappen is under investigation. Did you catch that as well?
No, was he drunk?
No. They're suspecting that he's bringing illegal money to.
Was he Dutch?
Yeah, pretty much. He's bringing illegal money to Formula One. I'm not sure, but they found some dealer bags with some white powder in it on him, and apparently he was trafficking that during the race. So I have no clue. I have no clue.
Red Bull is full of white stuff. It was the car was literally losing white stuff during the warm-up lap. It was all over the place. So, yeah.
And should we get to the Italian design for this race?
No,
Because
let's not do that.
well, let's do that. I mean, anyone else notice this? I mean that they get their inspiration from Disney right now, or is it Disney? I don't know if it's Disney. The movie Cars.
To be honest, I liked the paint job. I've got no complaint about that. I thought it looked very nice.
And you're in line with Charles Leclerc on that one, because he has chosen his livery for next year, which will be something like that. And I actually like it. I mean, I think Ferrari should absolutely do that. And put it on it, Lightning Leclerc. Then I have a warning for our dear Formula One fans, and for that I want to go back to qualifying, because in qualifying we saw
We're
this.
talking about you, Sam.
Yes, well, yeah, but it's a warning for everyone who's going to watch this. But so this happened in qualifying, and Vettel was really happy that he didn't damage his wing. Anyone noticed what the actual issue was? And again, silence. I'm asking.
Sorry, no.
I'm asking the experts, and the experts are entirely silent. No one has a clue why.
I'm having a beer. I'm eating some crisps. I've actually tuned out now, because I'll be honest with you, Ferrari did not win.
Yeah, Ferrari.
Carry on, please.
Yeah, okay. So what the issue was on the steering wheel, and it said BBW fail. So I Googled that, and I just want to say to everyone, do not Google that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're lucky. That was it for me for the week.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much, Peter. That was wonderful.
I just think that you missed the best thing which I've ever seen on a grid in F1. The poor Latifi getting 10 seconds penalty because the mechanic just moved the car. that was fucking. So the mechanic moved the car after the 10 seconds, before leaving the warm up lap started. He just decided, and it was really good because it was from the camera from the car, so you can see the mechanic looking at the watch, saying, "No, it's okay," moving the car a little bit, then patting the car down and say to Latifi, "Yeah, you're good." And that was the 10-second penalty. That was fucking amazing. It's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh, yeah. And he moved it back like literally a centimetre, an inch tops.
Yeah.
I mean, hardly anything, all right? You know what I mean?
No. But it was also pointless because it was the warm-up lap. So there is no, nobody's going to complain if it's not exactly the same spot. He just had to do it. It was brilliant. I want to know the name of that mechanic. Because I want to keep a photograph in my wallet, just like theirs. So remember the guy.
Oh,
Brilliant.
yeah, by the way, I forgot, I've got a new feature for the Formula One show.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to do some graphics for it, but I've forgotten again to do the graphics for it.
Yeah.
But there's a new thing. If you could highlight me a second, that would be good.
That's the best I can do.
A new section. Thank you very much. New feature called "What Mike Crack Says." So Mike Crack says this week that Vettel drove one of the best races of his life, and he enjoys having him in the team. Mike Crack enjoys him in the team. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna need a graphic for that one. That's a recurring thing from now on.
Yeah, we're going to need a graphic next week. Mike Crack says. My Crack says.
Okay.
My crack says or Mike Crack says. Never
Yeah,
mind.
say whatever.
Yeah.
My Crack says.
Yeah.
M Crack says. Yeah, that'll do.
Okay. So, next race, Canada.
Next race, Canada. When is that exactly, Fabio?
In a week.
In 1 week's time, we will be in Montreal. And if the porpoising wasn't bad here, it's going to be terrible at Montreal. And more than that, for fuck's sake, I mean, it's going to be a nightmare. There's going to be some serious questions asked. And yes, GeoSam, Mike Crack. He is, just for your benefit, GeoSam, I'll explain. He is the chief engineer at Aston Martin, which is Sebastian Vettel's team. Mike Crack. Anyway, so yeah, Canada, it's going to be a nightmare. Hopefully they will come up with something, and I'm guessing that a lot of teams will raise their ride height. I'm guessing Lewis will just go, fuck this. I'm not racing against a kid who can't be bothered about his back when I'm fucking 40. And every time I move, I'm going to get up and go, ouch, for the rest of my life. So, yeah, I can't see that going on. Anything you'd like to add before the end of the show, guys?
No. I mean, I'm still in shock, so no.
Okay.
Well,
I feel for you. I'm just hoping that we get to the next race and Leclerc won't be sleeping with the fishes. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
one last thing. I do think that Russell is doing a good job at Mercedes. If it weren't for Russell, Mercedes would be nowhere at this moment. He's evolving into Mr. Sunday for the Mercedes team.
Yeah, I don't think it's an easy call for him to be able to outrace Lewis right now, I feel. Yeah. And we've been through that little particular debate a while ago, so we won't open it up again.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as soon as the car gets sorted, you'll find he won't be quite outperforming Lewis quite as easily as he's been so far. But that's my guess. And yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Kids will be kids. You know what they're like. They'll do anything. Anyway, Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much, GeoSam, for being our guest tonight. I really do appreciate it. And as always, we will see you in 1 week's time after the Canada Grand Prix. And hopefully hopefully Ferrari will have at least got some kind of handle on, or at least tuned back their engine a little bit in order to give it some longevity. And Bottas, yes, my Bottas. He was, yeah, I don't know. I can't say anything more because I've literally lost the will to fucking live.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Peter. Roll the outro.
Cheers.
Ciao.